Because I was a single mom and I knew I needed to have a better future for my kids, I said that really the only way to do this is I have to enroll in college, and I'm sure I could do it if I try. And I came down here and filled out an application. I came here and I found out that they had the University Learning Child Care Center. Susie Sprouse was the director at the time. I remember Helen Gottfried, who was on the board of the Child Care Center. And I had asked them, they were brand new at the time, and I said, I have 2 little girls. Guess what? Because they had that center here, I was able to come to college here. I got hired the day after I graduated in South Hall. I got hired by a group called the University Research Network. This is pre-internet. They had the idea of increasing communications between different agencies on a statewide basis. We worked with the governor of the state of Wisconsin at the time. They brought in a company from California called, it was called SFS Chemical Safety, and it was a one-man show, and it was Tony Diamantidis.
Maggie has been my wife and business partner for over 23 years. We met in Stevens Point days after she graduated from UWSP while I was there on a business trip, and we've been together virtually ever since.
We ended up moving to California, and we had a 2-people office, and we started working with the new regulations, new environmental regulations. So what happened is we ended up getting into a little bit of credibility with the Olympics because of the work in 2002. So we went back to Athens and said, here's what we're going to do. And they said, we're still not really that interested. So I said, well, last time I checked, Greece is a free country. And if we want to clean up the beaches, and if we want to inspire educational programs about preserving the environment in a country that is stressed environmentally, I don't think we have to have your permission to do it. Everyone's like, hey, yeah. So we found some teachers. We found Cousteau, which we met at 2002 at the games in 2002, and said, would you help us with this? He said, absolutely.
I've had the immense privilege of carrying the flag at the opening ceremony of the Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002. And that's when I met with Maggie. And then later on, thanks to her husband, I was invited to carry the torch before the opening of the Olympics in Athens. And that's where I realized that Maggie was a very, very determined person. She wants things to happen.
So we started a foundation called the Athens Environmental Foundation. And we went in and did dozens, if not scores, of beach cleanups. We did it all for no money. We thought one of the things we can do is plant trees, because we did work with NASA, found out that Athens has a huge amount of hotspots, what we call urban hotspots. And the way to mitigate that, one way to mitigate that is to plant trees. So we found out that Jim Scara was from Stevens Point, and I'm in California, and I said, wow, Jim, come to California, you need to work with us on this. So he came out and we sat in a little room and we talked about planting trees along the Olympic torch route. And this was the first time in history that the torch was going to run all the way around the world, because it was the homecoming of the Olympics. I said, well, what are we going to call it? He said, let's call it a green highway. We're going to have a green highway around the earth. I said, well, so it was a brainstorming session, and the logo for the Athens 2004 Games had just changed from a ship, which was the original logo, to the olive wreath. So I said, well, what if we plant a wreath of trees around the planet? And he said, I have to give credit to Jim, he said, what do we call it, the Global Olive Wreath?
If I were to describe Maggie in 2 words, they would be the Latin words carpe diem. Maggie is a person that seizes the day and tries to do something every day to make the world a better place.
She stands for what she believes. She is relentless in her pursuit and won't stop until the job is done. She treats all people equal. She leads by example. she never stopped pushing forward.
When I think of what my attitude was when I first walked through the doors here, when I would sit in my car in between classes because I couldn't go to the union because that was for college kids, and I felt like I really didn't belong here at the very beginning. And then, so to come full circle now to get this award is, it's an amazing turn of events, I'll tell you that.